Well, welcome back into Studio 10. And as we mentioned today, WILX is encouraging you all at home to join us in making an impact with Champions of the Heart. And someone who truly understands the importance of AED and CPR training is Sheriff Wriggelsworth, who's joining us here today on Studio 10. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we always love having you in and into the station and the studio. You bring so much to us. But we also want to talk a little bit about your team, because obviously your team was there when Mike Garland's life was saved. So from your perspective, when we're talking about Champions of the Heart, which is a new foundation, what's it like to see all come about from that situation?
Yeah, I think it's great that Coach Garland is building upon his life-saving moment and understanding the need for people to get involved, to know CPR, and then to have AEDs available. He understands. He's walking proof of that, right? So the more he can build a community around his foundation and get these things in place, the more likely we're going to be able to save lives.
That's wonderful, and I'm glad we're shedding so much light on this as well. But how frequently does your department end up needing to use an AED or CPR training?
Yeah, we do it often, especially when we patrol in rural Ingham County. I mean, the paramedics might be 10 or 15 minutes away, so we might beat them by 5 or 10 minutes. And so we perform CPR often. I check some numbers. We've actually deployed AEDs 52 times since 2020. And by deployed, I mean actually hooking them onto somebody and letting the AED do the work. And we've got several life-saving events because of that.
Wow, that's huge. And hearing those numbers, just since, you know, that time period. Another big factor in times like this when someone is going through this is time. You have to make a quick response. Tell us why it's important to do that so quickly.
Yeah, the faster the community can get involved, calling 911. You know, if you're uncomfortable, don't know CPR, 911 will actually walk you through it, the dispatcher where if you do know it, the sooner you can get involved. And for instance, in Coach Garland's situation, 2 community members stopped by, started CPR, then we got there, continued it, and then the medics got there and kind of finished it, loaded him up, and got him to the hospital. And he's walking proof that all of that played a role. And who knows what would have happened if the citizens didn't get involved immediately.
Oh my goodness. Well, obviously it's important for people in roles like yours to have this training and to know these things offhand. But what about, you know, everyday regular people? How important is it for us to kind of know this training as well?
Yeah, again, super important. Let's say something happened at the station today. You know, paramedics and cops aren't here, but you guys are. So the more people that can know it, get that immediate response, call 911, get us en route, and then do your thing until we get here, the more likely that person's going to live.
And one way too is obviously get trained, get those AEDs in more people's hands, more organizations, more businesses. And one way we're doing that through the foundation, of course, is raising that money. So if you at home are feeling moved to make an impact, we're going to have that number on the screen so you can make those contributions. And it sounds like there's some great incentives too with the basketballs, with tickets and all of that, which is great, a win-win. But in all seriousness, so very important.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the work that you do and that your team is doing, and of course for helping us make an impact this afternoon.
Well, thank you for doing what you're doing for our community in partnership with Coach Garland today.
Yeah,
All right, well,
definitely.
thank you so much. Well, we are wrapping things up here on Studio